Greetings, all you samurai out there in the land of Wano. I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I'm coming at you with a review of One Piece, Chapter 950, The Dreams of the Strong. Oof, it's getting so close. 50 more chapters and we're at Chapter 1000. How crazy is that? I've been reading this series ever since, like, what was it, 2003? 2003. Yeah. It's been a long time. Ah, man. So, good times, but getting into it proper, the cover page, the cover of Shonen Jump, actually shows off the characters who will be involved in One Piece Stampede, namely Trafalgar Law, Sabo, Boa Hancock, as well as Rob Lucci. Very popular characters in terms of One Piece, and it's really interesting to see them in, like, Wano attire. Fun times, good stuff. It really goes to show just how popular some of these non-Straw Hat characters are. And besides that, we also have the cover story of apparently having, what was it, Lola's sister actually wanting to set out and search for her. Chiffon, there we go. I couldn't think of her name. Chiffon going in search of Lola to finally kind of get with her and just, reunite with some good family members for the most part. Those who wouldn't judge them harshly. Meanwhile, Kid had kind of declined Luffy's offer to team up and take down Kaido, since Luffy's just like, well, our plans kind of align, so why shouldn't we team up? But Kid was having none of it. Previous alliances, namely the one that got him in this whole mess, don't work out for him too much. And it's just like, you know what? You're lucky I just don't kill you on the spot. So I'm just gonna bail, I'm gonna get my crew back, and I'm just gonna leave this joint. Though I very much doubt that Kid is just gonna bounce. He's definitely gonna get some revenge through all of this. We didn't set up that whole situation on the Sabaody Archipelago for nothing. We're gonna have the three captains, Law, Kid, and Luffy, team up to take on Kaido. It's like, come on. There's no way Oda's not going to go that route. It feels too perfect. But, Kid gets a whole bunch of stuff to, get an arm back. He busts out of Udon and he goes walking off with Killer in order to, get a little bit of payback and go his own way, as he says. Meanwhile, a lot of the prisoners of Udon are kind of questioning the fact that Luffy is a pirate, because, Kaido and his forces, they're all pirates, so, that usual context of, oh, they're pirates, which, come on, why would you even trust pirates? They're thieves. But, we have, what should we call it, Raizo doing his best to talk them down, to kind of put them in a little bit better favor, as well as old man Hyogoro. And Hyogoro's just like, there's something missing from this discussion about Luffy and how they can, somehow defeat Kaido and all that stuff. Not to mention, a lot of them are questioning. It's just like, how are we supposed to believe you've been sent from 20 years ago? Raizo looks the same as he ever did. So it's just like, who would even be able to tell if he's aged 20 years or not? So a lot of the prisoners are just really out of sorts about the whole situation. They got caught up in the moment, but they're really kind of questioning the logistics of everything they've heard up until now. Meanwhile, Luffy is damn near dying because of the mummy virus. And Chopper's just like screaming his head off. It's just like, oh my god, you idiot, what did you think you were doing? Don't you know your actions have consequences? But Momo, well, while Tama is just fawning over Luffy, Momo's just like, man, Luffy, you're kind of an idiot. You're amazing, but you're an idiot. And Luffy takes offense to this, just like, idiot, well, you're a coward, you're a weakling, a scaredy cat. So Luffy's just so immature, really. And he pretty much gets into a fight with Momo, just throwing rocks and stuff at him. But this causes Momo to come tumbling out of the section where he was hiding into the presence of all of the various prisoners, who immediately recognize who he is and, just bow before him, saying that they gladly lay down their lives for him. And Momo immediately realizes that they're not looking at him truly, they're seeing his father. The shadow of his father, the dreams of the Kozuki clan, that thought that, okay, he will lead us. He is the heir to the great man of Udon, which puts a lot of responsibility on Momo's shoulders. It's just like, how do you even live up to something like that? So now Momo has a really heavy responsibility on his shoulders. But he lays it all out and, asks that everyone ally with him and his friends in order to take back Wano. So he manages to sway them with a few, righteous words. And even when, once, oh man, I am really forgetting his name. I am so bad with names right now. But as soon as, Kawamatsu, sees that everything is in order, that things have kind of been settled, he says there's some place he needs to go in order to, get things settled. So he's basically more than likely going off in order to meet back up with, Hiyori in order to kind of make sure that she's okay. So everyone's splitting off once again, but then we cut over to Ashura Doji with Kinemon and Unarashi. And he's basically showing them the graves of the various allies they honestly should have had at this point. Apparently, a lot of them got really restless up after a certain amount of time. With all the raids, all the, pollution, all the illness, all the various destruction that was happening, they really just got fed up with all the waiting. And while Shutemaru was content to just stick around and wait for the appointed day, they're just like, man, if we wait any longer, we'll probably just die from either starvation or old age. And they even hearken to Kawamatsu, a word that they came up with in order to test their courage, and a word that meant to throw away your name and thought and just, roll into battle. The word snatch. And, that's why it was so important that Momo not say it, not just because, it was this word that the various forces, rode into battle screaming at the top of their lungs, but, Momo is the last person who should be throwing away his name and forgetting consequences and thought. But they rode into battle with Ashura Doji just screaming for them to come back, and they all just went to their deaths for the most part. But, Ashura is just like, look, there's no more time for regrets. It's just like he calls out to his men that, in 8 days on the night of the Fire Festival, they'll go raid Onigashima under the Kozuki banner in order to put an end to Kaido and Orochi. And all of his men are gladly behind him, saying that they've waited this day for all this time, and especially after the loss of Lord Yasue, they're all too ready to lay down their lives for this whole situation. But, Ashura also kind of rubs into it into Kinemon's face that, he's 20 years stronger now. He hasn't just been sitting on his thumbs this entire time. And he brags about it with Inuarashi. So it's just like a little bit of nice camaraderie to show that they've truly become friends yet again, despite Ashura Doji's initial, malice and stuff like that. Meanwhile, we cut to the forest outside of the flower capital, where we see that, Zoro has just been making quick work of the various ninja that were sent after him. No problem whatsoever. Although he does, hope that that's the last of them, with, Hiyori apologizing for being in the way. But, Zoro kind of brushes it off. As he doesn't want to lose her because he wouldn't know what to say to Momosuke. But he does ask if she wants to go back to the house in the snow, with Hiyori saying she doesn't mind as long as it's a place to hide. Though she is worried about Otoko. Zoro tries to quell her fears, saying that, well, she's with her friends, so more than likely, she'll be in a good, safe place. But he does want to find the guy Gyukumaru who took his sword, because he says his belt feels too light. So Hiyori says she'll lead him back to Bandit's Bridge in order to get him all bladed up for the final battle. And Zoro's fine with that, as he really just wants to take down Orochi because of the loss of Tonoyasu. Although Hiyori, with plenty of baggage of her own, is all too willing to take down that monster Orochi. And we end up ending our chapter in the actual flower capital, where we see Hawkins and X-Drake, or DS Drake, however you want to pronounce that, talking it up. Apparently Drake has been acting a little bit odd, and it's caught the eye of Hawkins. But, he seems to just not be up to apparently what they're about to do, as Hawkins is all too ready to start interrogating their newest prisoner, namely Trafalgar D. Waterlaw, asking what exactly the connection is between Law and Luffy. He really wants to know what they're plotting for the future, with Law having this oh so smug look upon his face, because this guy ain't talking, no matter what. He's already seen hell. He's already even had his hand cut off. There's not too much you could really do in order to just, put this guy down and have him cave in. But, good stuff, a nice, fine chapter. It's very interesting to see where we'll be going from here on out, and what role Kid will actually have in terms of Wano and all their stuff. Luffy did make the offer to team up, but Kid refusing. It makes sense, but I really feel that they'll inadvertently end up teaming up in the end. And Momosuke now has to kind of take the role of a leader and basically a figurehead in order to, boost the morale of the troops and all that. So I hope he's up to the task. Not to mention, now Luffy has to be cured for that mummy disease that he's been infected with. So hopefully he'll be up to fighting power within these 8 days, and he can get some good, genuine rest in after everything he's been through. Also, we have to have Kawamatsu meet back up with Hiyori, and I wonder if he'll actually end up coming to blows with Zoro once they meet up. And, Zoro really does need all 3 of his swords. This might actually be the one challenge we see him have in terms of the time skip, because honestly, everyone he's gone up against up till this point have been scrubs. So it would be awesome if he manages to, boost his level once he finally, gets his sword back and hopefully meets up with Kawamatsu and all that. Maybe learns a few new techniques. Not to mention, Ashura Doji has all these men lined up, so, their forces continue to be bolstered and all that good stuff. So, very interesting stuff, but Law, he's not talking. Nothing's gonna come out of that. But the fact that Drake seems to be acting a little bit odd in terms of, lost capture really does raise the question about what Drake might be up to. And it's still really hard for me to believe that Hawkins is completely on the side of Kaido. It just doesn't really sit with me. These supernovas have shown themselves to be too free-spirited and too self-oriented in order to just give up on their dreams and ambitions and just, be content being subservient to, someone like a Yonko. It's just like, it's all or nothing with these guys, I felt, and to just have Hawkins just be a straight-up subordinate, or even Drake, I just don't feel it. There's gotta be something deeper as to what exactly Drake and Hawkins are up to. But we'll just have to find out exactly what that is, because, Hawkins definitely feels like he has something up his sleeve, and Drake even more so. It's just like, what, you got beaten once and you have no ambition? Nah, that can't be it. But maybe once Kaido gets taken down, we'll see that passion reignited in their souls. I really hope so. It's just like the Supernova were so cool when they were introduced. I don't enjoy the thought of them being lackeys, especially once, Capone Beige, once we actually got to have some time spent with him, he became a really fun and loved character in terms of the series. And I want to see that happen with all of the Supernovas. Just go from there on out. Hell, even Orouge got to, come out for the better despite having an off-screen battle with Snack. It's just like, as soon as you heard he took down one of the Sweet Commanders, it's just like, okay, yeah, man, maybe Orouge was actually worth some shit, because, up until that point, Rouge and Beige were probably some of the most least beloved supernovas out there, if not the most not cared about. But once we were done with Whole Cake, it's just like, yeah, they had a better standing in terms of how people felt about them. But that's enough jibber-jabbing from me. Tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. How did you feel about this particular chapter and any of the theories and thoughts that I had? Let me know yours in the comment section below. If you liked this video, leave me a like. If you didn't, feel free to give me a dislike and tell me what I did wrong in the comment section below, so I might better myself for future videos. And subscribe and hit the bell icon. That way you never miss out on another One Piece chapter review, as I try my best to catch up to where we currently are, if that's even possible at this point. But if you want to find me on social media, just Google Duuz-Diz-Din. I'm everywhere, but I'm pretty busy, so who knows if I'll ever post anything. And until the next video, I just want you to remember that no matter what, never give up on your dreams, because only the strong have the will to see them through. Until next time, I'm Duuz-Diz-Din, and I think I need a rest. Bye-bye.